Today in the world of cannabis, a New York police officer sues the state over his cannabis prescription. U.S. House Democrats release plans on a cannabis vote in error. And, hey man, is that Cheech Marin judging a cannabis business competition? It's Tuesday, September 28th, and this is your TRICHOMES Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the TRICHOMES.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, after a decade of service with the New York Police Department, an officer is filing a lawsuit against the city for claiming he was forced into early retirement due to his prescription for medical cannabis. "I felt betrayed and extremely disappointed," Robert Cascalenda told the New York Post. "When I needed the NYPD most, they suspended and stripped me of my health insurance simply because I was prescribed a non-fatal alternative to opioids." In a report by the New York Post, Cascalenda tested positive on 2 drug tests after he was prescribed medical cannabis by an NYPD doctor. Cascalenda then suffered a panic attack, fell into a coma, and was suspended for a month following his release from the hospital due to the positive drug test result. After Cascalenda gave up his cannabis prescription, he experienced debilitating levels of anxiety and pain and applied for early retirement on disability. In a lawsuit filed in the Manhattan Supreme Court, Cascalenda added that he is prone to suffering from pancreatitis when taking prescription drugs. When he suffered injuries and developed Lyme disease and fibromyalgia, he was prescribed Oxycontin and morphine, which triggered his pancreatitis. It was then that the doctors advised Cascalenda that continued use of painkillers could prove fatal and recommended him to medical cannabis.
And next, in what was, quote, just an error, according to House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer to Marijuana Moment, U.S. House Democrats listed a bill meant to extend cannabis research to allow scientists to study samples from dispensaries. The legislation was listed along a group of bills scheduled to receive a vote on the House floor sometime this week. However, just a few hours after listing the bill, it was deleted. This comes as House Democrats have already delayed voting on a different bill for federal cannabis legalization. The bill, called the Medical Marijuana Research Act, if passed sometime in the future, would include a streamlined registration process for cannabis researchers by lowering wait times, security requirements, and extra protocol reviews. In addition, the bill would remove limits on the number of registered entities to cultivate cannabis for research purposes. Organizations from all sides of the cannabis legalization discussion support the legislation, including Smart Approaches to Marijuana, the American Psychological Association, the Marijuana Policy Project, and the American Academy of Neurology.
Last up, global investors Cannabis 10X partnered with a well-known cannabis personality to judge its 15 finalists of global cannabis brands competing for the Cannabis Crown during their capital pitch event entitled Retail Alchemy. This according to Ganjapreneur. More than 100 brands applied to be part of Cannabis 10X's capital pitch event. Of them, the finalists were able to give their 5-minute Shark Tank-style pitch to Bruce Linton, founder and former CEO of Canopy Growth Corp., Hamish Sutherland, CEO of White Sheep Corp., and Patrick Ray, founder of Canopy Boulder. Cheech Marin, of the famous comedy duo Cheech and Chong, served as a judge and speaker at the event, which also included interviews with Cannabis 10X founders Jason Trop and Holly A. Ford. Alchemy is an ancient branch of natural philosophy. Alchemists transmuted base metals into noble metals. They created the elixir of mortality, the panaceas that cured all disease, and perfected the human body and soul from the alchemical magnum opus, or the Philosopher's Stone, said Ford when asked about the name of the event. Our retail brands are doing the same thing. They're creating gold with their businesses that sell an elixir that cures disease and stabilizes the body chemistry and soul.
And that was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit TRICHOMES.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts, like Hash It Out, The High Ground, or Careers in Cannabis, wherever you get your podcasts. For TRICHOMES.com, I'm David Fortin.
And I'm RJ Balde. Later.